Hi guys, Anthony and or Xmas here, depending on how you know me. I'm just recording this video because I wanted to go over um, the Sonic Retrospective that I did this past month and a half. I wanted to go over these games: Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog, and Sonic 2006, or Sonic the Hedgehog for the Xbox 360 slash PlayStation 3. I started recording this yesterday, and I didn't really like how I sounded because I was very critical of these games, when in reality, I do want to do a critical analysis on them, but I was trying to score them, and I didn't really like how I was doing it, so I'm just going to be a little bit more rambly this time instead of more structured, because I want this to be sort of like a podcast that my friends can listen to if they wanted to hear my thoughts on the Sonic games. This is going to be very casual and a lot less focused and more rambly on what I think of all the games. And this is going to be my, essentially like my tweet for how I think of Sonic 2006, because all three other games I rambled on Twitter about what I thought of them. So, all five of these games I held near and dear to my heart as a kid. I thought they were probably my favorite games at the time, next to Pokemon and Mario games. I was very, very specific with what games I liked as a child. And looking back, I really wanted to see if I still loved these games as much as I did when I was a kid. I knew I wasn't going to love them as much, but I just wanted to see if they still hit that special spot, in my heart. And spoiler alert, none of them really did. They're all very flawed games, some more than others. I knew Sonic 2006 wasn't, because that was the only game I played again when I was in college. So I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to like the game. I wasn't. I already knew in advance, but I just wanted to know, how much I wasn't going to like it. I just want to see how it looks on the stream. Okay, it looks fine, because my camera, I think, is still above the display. Okay, cool. So, let's get started. I'm going to start with Sonic Adventure. So this is the first game to jump into 3D for Sonic, outside of Sonic R. Fun game. And this is probably the game that's closest to the Genesis games. So a lot of people praise it for that. It controls amazingly. Sonic is very fun. The levels are really good. The music is good. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are all fun and great to play as. Great, you already know the story. And you also already know that Amy and Big are not fun to play as. They suck, and their campaigns are shorter, but they honestly feel like that they shouldn't be in the game as playable characters. They should just be side characters if they have to be in the game. E101 Gamma's story was probably my favorite to experience, but as a gameplay style, the shooting levels were just kind of whatever. The boss fights were not good. The story was not good. It was very all over the place, and you couldn't really tell what the heck was going on without looking at a wikia. Overall, a good start, but honestly, was just kind of okay. It had some great highs, some really awful lows, and I didn't really enjoy myself as much as I wanted, because like I said, I played these games a lot as a kid. If I were to rate it out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 6. Fun, but had some downs that honestly cannot be avoided. But it did a lot of things right, and I wanted to give its praises where it did with Sonic, and specifically Knuckles and Tails' gameplay. But everything else, and the voice direction was also really bad. And some of the level design was questionable. They kept the axe system like they did from the Genesis games, but what can you do? I had fun though, just not as much as I remembered. Adventure 2. That game I enjoyed a little bit more. It's actually my first Sonic game. The Sonic and Shadow levels are great. The Knuckles and Rouge levels are only good if you memorize them, like I did when I was a kid. If you're a first-time player of this game, those levels are the worst in the game, because they can take up to 10 to 15 minutes if you don't know what you're doing. And then the Tails and Eggman levels are very bleh. I didn't particularly like them that much, but, to each their own. The music is probably my favorite. It's probably my favorite soundtrack in the Sonic franchise. The bosses were fun, specifically the Bio Lizard. That's probably my favorite boss in any 3D platformer. The music is amazing, like I said earlier, and I love the Sonic and Shadow levels. They're the best parts of the game. Duh. Also, I love the Chow Garden. Chow Garden's great. If I were to rate this one, probably like a 7.5 out of 10. It's probably my up there on my list of Sonic games, but you know, to each their own. Heroes. Heroes is the one that I played the most, and it's also the one that I'm the most disappointed in, because out of all 5 games, I knew Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic 2006 were going to be the worst on the list, but they were guilty pleasures of mine. This game's not good. It's very mediocre. You have to play the game essentially 3 times with 3 different level lengths / enemies to fight, and then Team Chaotix is kind of like a mission mode. I guess it should be grateful that there's only really 3 gameplay styles, and the levels are well designed. They're fun. The music's whatever. It didn't really have that many hits, but it was fine, you know. The bosses were also whatever, and Sonic at least went fast, but the problem is the game was very slippery, and I honestly just didn't feel like I was having a lot of fun towards once I got into Team Dark's levels. Once I finished Team Sonic, I'm like, all right, that was fun. A little too robot heavy, but you know, it was fun. But then Team Dark's levels were a chore, and Team Chaotix's levels sometimes were either really quick or really long, and I didn't like that. And Team Rose's levels felt like a joke. So there you have it. If I were to rate this one, probably a 5 out of 10. Didn't really... Very average game. Shadow the Hedgehog. This was the most interesting one because I was laughing when I was playing this game. Like not like enjoying myself. I was actually laughing. There's only one gameplay style, and let me tell you, man, some of the guns in that game are just like, what the heck? Like, why? Who thought that was a good idea to freaking give Shadow a gun? Like, my first playthrough of the game, this is kind of what I typed on Twitter, but my first playthrough of the game, it was literally like, haha, Shadow has a gun, this is so funny. And then my second playthrough of the game, where's that damn 4th Chaos Emerald? And then Shadow karate chops a computer and opens a portal to cyberspace. Like, what? That makes no sense. And then my third playthrough, I'm like, it's still kind of funny. And then on my 4th playthrough, I wasn't laughing. And then playthroughs 5 to 9, I was miserable. Like, it sucked. Having to replay that game 10 times just to get to the last story is awful design, and I cannot forgive that. It's also why I don't like Sonic Heroes that much. It forces you to play the game 4 times just to get to the last story, and I think that's bad. Bad design, personally. And then on my 10th playthrough, I got to play my favorite level, which was whatever. I guess I should go over the story really quick in Adventure 2 Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog. So Adventure 2 story was fun. Felt like a Saturday morning cartoon, but not that great. Better than Adventure 1, though. Heroes' story was a joke. It doesn't take itself seriously, and that's fine. But didn't really enjoy the story at all. Shadow the Hedgehog's story is worse than all of them. It's probably the worst story out of the game so far. Spoiler alert, 06 has the worst story. That game is... well, we'll get there. But none of the endings are canon except for the last story, so it kind of just felt like you were wasting your time, because none of those endings matter. But yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog was not that good of a game. It's a guilty pleasure, but if you play it long enough, you realize that it's just terrible. But for the small amount that you do play, you go, haha, it's kind of funny, you know? Shadow's like shooting his gun, he's like speeding through, and he's jumping on a bunch of stuff. Like, I don't know, it's kind of fun. And then Sonic 06. This is the worst game of the 5, by far. If I were to rate Shadow the Hedgehog, I'd give it like a 4.5 out of 10. Guilty pleasure, but not a good game. Sonic 2006 is a buggy, glitchy, frame rate issued mess that has a terrible story and terrible characters to play as. It does have the guilty pleasure vibes that Shadow the Hedgehog did. And if I were to rate just Sonic's campaign, and this is going to sound really bad, I enjoyed Sonic in Sonic 2006 more than Shadow the Hedgehog and the Chaotix missions and Team Rose in Sonic Heroes. There were some really cool levels in Sonic 2006 that I thoroughly enjoyed playing as as Sonic. But as a whole, Sonic 2006 is the worst Sonic game of these five. Like, it's not even funny how bad these games are. Like the campaign is. Sorry, not these games. I meant these campaigns are. Silver's levels all take 15 minutes or more because he's so freaking slow. Shadow's missions also take a long time because they're all enemy focused and so combat heavy, and his stupid punching homing attack is just so stupid. The levels themselves are interesting because there's multiple paths to get to the goal ring, kind of like what Sonic Heroes and Sonic Adventure 1 do, so that's kind of cool. But they're still glitchy pieces of garbage. Like, I had Ross watch me play through Shadow's campaign, and he's just like, dude, why are you playing this? This doesn't look fun. And whenever the frame rate dropped for just simply moving, I was like, yeah, this is a mess. I played the PS3 version, not the 360 version. I hear the 360 version's better. Yeah, Sonic 06 sucks. The stories doesn't make any sense. Is riddled with plot holes that I could go over if you really wanted me to, but it's whatever. It was funny playing as Sonic, and there were some parts of the game that I was like, yeah, I could see this being in a Sonic Adventure game. Like, this is kind of cool. Specifically, like, my favorite part of the game was the Kingdom Valley Mach Speed section. Yeah, it doesn't control very well, but I was having fun zooming across the walls and in the water with the beautiful music. Oh my god, Sonic 06's soundtrack is probably my second favorite out of these 5 games. It's beautiful music. I highly recommend checking it out. Just like with the music that's going on in this little retrospective. But, yeah, man, there were a lot of good things about Sonic 06 that I really liked, but it's the worst Sonic game, by far. This and Shadow the Hedgehog are terrible games. Guilty pleasures, but I still had fun. If I were to rate this out of 10, it'd be a 4 out of 10. Not a good game, but funny. You can show this to your friends and make them laugh with you. So many glitches and so many frame rate issues. The snowboarding sections, the going up the loop-de-loops and just stopping, like, ugh, terrible. So, I'm sorry if this isn't a fun video to watch. Like I said, I kind of wanted this to be more of like a podcast, just because I just wanted to get my thoughts out. So why did I do this? Like I said at the beginning of this video, I wanted to go through my childhood to see if these games still had that spark that they had when I was a kid. They really didn't. Sonic Adventure 2 was the closest, but all the rest of these games were just kind of whatever, man. There are way better Sonic games out there, like Colors, Generations, and if you're into 2D platformers, the Genesis games and Sonic Mania are really good times. I don't really like the 2D Sonic games that much. They're just kind of whatever, but I enjoyed Mania for what it was. It really sucks because, like, as a kid, you know, you go back and you play the games that were so near and dear to your heart only for you to find out that they really weren't that enjoyable to begin with. And that sucks. But I'm glad I did this. I'm really glad I did. This was something that I wanted to do for a while, and now that I had some extra time before, you know, Infinity Con and all that stuff for Smash, I got to get it done. And I'm glad that I got to go through these 5 games again. Will I play them again? Probably not. Maybe Adventure 2, and maybe Sonic's campaign in Sonic Adventure. But that's about it. I think the best way to experience Sonic Adventure is to just play Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles missions and skip the story. You'll have a better time that way. Sonic Adventure 2, I think you can enjoy the story for what it is. It's kind of dumb, but it's like a Saturday morning cartoon. You have fun with it. Heroes, I only recommend you play once, whatever team of yours is your favorite, even if it's Team Chaotix. I won't make fun of you if it is. Shadow the Hedgehog, don't play it more than twice. Trust me, you'll have fun. But if you play it more than twice, you're just going to be shooting yourself in the foot. And then Sonic 06, I don't even recommend playing this game at all. It's a glitchy, buggy mess that doesn't work. But if you want to have fun, like laughing at how bad it is, play Sonic's campaign. And you'll get everything that you need to see. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble. Like I said, hope you can play this in the car and listen to me talk about Sonic. I don't really like these games that much anymore, with the exception of Adventure 2. And thank you so much for listening to me ramble. I hope you have a good day, guys.